now we want to talk about like reparations for indigenous people and for black people and things like that. I think that that's an easier conversation.
What do you mean for black people?
The
People that are
400
ancestors
years of slavery.
Yeah.
just as slaves, like
Yeah, what happened? Pooja thought I was about to say
No,
something
it's just
crazy.
what happened to black people? It's like, you never heard of slavery?
Ladies and gentlemen, for our final topic, we're going to do a little bit of roulette of all of our topics that might not make it to the show. Kind of funny.
well, they're making it to the show right now.
Well, now,
they're
but I'm saying as
making
their
it, yeah.
own, my bad, as their own topic. This is just something we're going to spin off quick. Nothing crazy. We're not going to,
But it's going to be on the show right now.
yeah, it's going to be on the show.
The first thing I want to talk about, and I wanted to bring it up, but I said I'll save it for now.
Oh,
Your
boy.
shirt. It's a new report. I've never seen you wear anything.
Oh
like
yeah,
this
this is a
Oh,
new
wow.
report.
Tony's shirt broke my brain when he first turned on his camera. I didn't know what was happening.
This is floral. So Nike,
nice.
Nike shirt.
Floral with black is interesting though. I feel like floral is usually like bright colors is like the background. With the black it's interesting.
Yeah,
Kind of
me,
broad,
I
you
guess-
know.
It gives me like mariachi vibes or something.
these Nike knows who it's marketing to. They know that they can't put too much color because then the ghetto people won't buy it. But they're like, if you use black as like a
What are you talking
neutral,
about? Ghetto people love bright colors.
yeah, you're right. The bright oranges.
The lime greens, all that.
But I want to
yeah.
stay on this. What kind of hat is this?
Oh, this
So
is
I don't
just
think-
this is just a Guy Harvey hat.
Right, you don't mix wilderness or like
had it
fishing
on the whole time, yeah.
Or I know I watched the whole podcast.
Oh,
I'm
before the
hearing-
pod. Before the pod. Dick.
Yeah,
Like,
I know
had
you
it.
had it the
I just
whole
had it
time.
on.
I've been here. Yeah, the combo I just found interesting. You know,
No, yeah, I was outside. I just grabbed the first hat off the damn closet and put it on. Went outside. It was sun's bright and
my first
Never took it off.
observation was this might be the first podcast where none of us are wearing just like a black tee, like a plain black tee. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
still wearing a black T-shirt technically, but you know, so kudos to that.
Got my great game debate.
Yo, very nice.
Didn't even notice. You need to rock the mic on the other side so you can.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning,
Yeah.
but I have to reverse my entire setup to do that.
this is also the first time Doe just wears a plain white tee in a long time.
I always wear plain white
No,
tee.
you always have a Lacoste
So
crocodile somewhere on it.
It's been a few weeks, maybe.
Every
Maybe a few
no,
episodes.
David, you're wrong. Every episode you have a Lacoste crocodile. Everyone. What's the first topic in the mixed bag?
The first topic in the mixed bag is how far is too far when getting revenge?
Yeah, explain
How
this to
far
me.
is
How
too
often-
far?
Tony, when's
Yeah,
the last
sorry.
time you got revenge?
Let's start there because this was a topic, and I'm like, I don't know if I could. I've never gotten revenge on someone. Like,
Same.
Revenge could be, it doesn't necessarily always have to be negative, right? Or like, you're petty, LaBelle.
there's a positive revenge.
Yeah, of course. It's funny. Funny
Give me
revenge.
an
Like, it's
example
like,
of a positive revenge. I'm curious.
like, for example, when someone attacks you for something, Pucho, and you just say, you know what, I'm going to get my payback the moment you mess up. And what do?
I buy them a gift.
No.
What's the positive?
You find laughter in it yourself. It's a
Oh,
self
oh
thing.
yeah, I'm sure the people getting revenge,
Yeah, yeah.
it's always positive.
It's a
They're always
positive
happy to get revenge. Then okay, positive. I like it.
For
that's
some
like
things.
that's like one of my nephews. Like he used to like bully his sister, and we would tell her like we're like you are being mean, and be like I'm not being mean. I'm being happy. Because it made him happy to bully his sister, so he felt he was being happy, not mean.
And also, if someone else gets revenge and I think deserved it, I think that would be hilarious, and I would enjoy it. So even though it got nothing to do with me, I would find it hilarious.
I think that
be
I don't
frank.
know that I've ever gotten revenge. Maybe in like a prank war or something, right? Like there was we have had some prank wars, and like we've done the classic like glitter on top of fans and things like that. Like I think the worst one that I ever did was we had a buddy that we used to fight about the AC control all the time, right? He wanted it to be 72 degrees in the apartment. I am a polar bear. I wanted it to be 67, 68 degrees. I wanted it as cold as possible, right? but so we were always fighting over the AC. So what I did one day is he went out somewhere and I got a bunch of cardboard boxes and I shoved them into his AC vent in his room. Like I took off the vent, I shoved him in there, I taped him up so there was no airflow, and then I put the vent back on. And we did not fight about the AC vent anymore because he wanted it cranked as low as possible because he was like, man, it's so hot in my room now, dude. He's like, it's so hot. I don't know what's going on all the time.
Also, like, it's revenge, right? But it's like prankster. Back in the day when Doe and Jesus came down and we were chilling with another friend named Justin, them boys rode on my car. Thought it was funny to put dicks and shit all over my car. So I beasted. I went up them. I did the whole damn car. Not just the one door or two. I did the whole car. The body, the windows, and everything. Doughboy and them came out. Thought that shit was hilarious. I don't think Justin found it hilarious at all. But that's revenge. And no one got hurt. Playful. Like, those are good revenges. Now, have you guys got any serious revenge? Probably not. But maybe just a topic. Like, is it good? Like, why do people want to seek it?
For me, my pettiness comes from I want people to feel the negativity that they're spreading. So when someone does something to me that I don't like, and they don't care, that makes them happy, I'm happy to do that same thing back to them so that they could better realize that they're pieces of shit. That's
revenge,
typically
too.
what I go for.
Sure.
That's
Yeah, revenge.
I'm explaining. You just asked why.
No, you were saying that you've never done it. And I'm telling you that's
sure.
revenge.
To me, that's not revenge. But now that you've defined revenge as little verbal quips here and there, then sure, I've gotten revenge.
Is revenge only death thing to you? What's like? What would you consider revenge? Like someone dying or someone getting hurt?
Someone who did something like really wrong to me, so then I want to do something really wrong to them. It doesn't have to be death.
There's a level of wrong.
It could be maybe like stealing money from them or like something dramatic, like
like Alexander,
something criminal, maybe.
like Alexander Dumbass. And
he got big revenge in a variety of ways. There were some murders, there was some thievery, there was just reputational revenge. He did the whole gamut of revenge in that.
Here's another one that Doe posted up.
Hold on. Let me go.
Oh, you want to do it? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Number 168. No, that's 184. Museums. How should they be received? Should they be shitted on for collecting lost heirlooms of forgotten nations? Or should they give everything that they own back to the sovereign nations?
It says sovereign.
Sovereign. Sovereign.
It's an interesting topic.
How should they be received? Is a funny. I don't know why I wrote that. Should
you wrote
museums?
This is hilarious. Collecting lost heirlooms of forgotten nations. That's my favorite. Of the forgotten nations, should they give them back to the sovereign? But they've been forgotten. The nations have been forgotten. No.
But like the British Museum has a lot of like African heirlooms and African stuff, and like they've taken a lot of stuff, and these nations want it back. The Africa's like, give us our shit back, and they're like, the British Museum's like, no, this is
finders keepers, and
they say they'll do a better job preserving it than Africa will. They'll say stuff like that. We've been preserving this for a long time. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like museums eventually will become something like people? Is it educational? How do you feel ethically? Is it okay?
Let me ask you that question, though. Do you feel like they should give it back?
I feel like certain things, yes.
Why do you reverse the question?
Because if that's the case, then this great country should go back to its original owners, too. The people who were the first ones here.
That is also an interesting.
Pilgrims?
That is also an interesting conversation, though.
No, I'm just mimicking him. He's
also an interesting conversation, though. I mean, the U.S. just broke a treaty with one of the indigenous tribes recently regarding water rights in like Arizona and things like that. But I don't think that there's a straight comparison between the two discussions.
Yeah, there are practical things and there are impractical things. Like having, like for example, one of the things they have in the British Museum are like these tablets and there's these I forget what country in Africa, they had their entire history written on these tablets.
Oh, wow.
And now they don't know a portion of their history because Britain literally came in and took their history and put it in their museums. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that should obviously be returned. Like, to me, that's an absolute no-brainer.
How do you think they go about getting it? Just say, fuck, I'm just going to go invade and grab it and come back? It's all fine and done. I mean,
100%. Like, it was just theft during invasions and during like colonialism and during the slave trade and all kinds of things like that.
What's your question?
I'm saying,
how did they get it, or how should they get it back?
How should they get it back?
Because I'm like, Mateo's not advocating for war. He didn't actually.
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, I didn't
understand. He's like, yeah, them Africans should just go and invade Britain and just take all their shit. Nah.
Why?
No, like I feel like, again, like I was saying before the pod, actually. We live in a globalist world. Everything's interconnected. All these other countries, like you said, oh, the U.S. shouldn't be dipping their fingers in other people's shit. Nah, other powerful countries should tell other powerful countries, you suck at this one thing. You should try to fix that. You should go fix that problem and punish them for not doing it. Absolutely. Why the fuck not? As for giving our country back to Native Americans, it's not very practical.
It's not practical now. It's a little too far gone, but...
Now we want to talk about like reparations for indigenous people and for black people and things like that. I think that's an easier conversation. I'm curious to see how the California thing's going to play out with reparations.
What do you mean for black people? Like the ones who got here and got used and abused?
Yeah,
Like
people that are ancestors.
Years of slavery.
Yeah, people that are ancestors of slaves. Like,
yeah, what happened? Pooja thought I was about to say something crazy.
What happened to black people? It's like, you never heard of slavery? It's just a funny ass.
I was just trying to I was just trying to be a little bit more specific. Like, what does it mean? Like giving them a whole bunch of land? Like, where were we gonna go with that? But
reparations for indigenous people, I think, is a way easier sell than for black people. Black people is way more complicated because it's like, all the indigenous people, for the most part, unless like you got indigenous people that came from like Mexico or South America and things like that, most of the vast majority of the indigenous people in this country came from indigenous people that were here and got their land stolen and stuff like that. When it comes to black people, it's like there's a large percentage of black people that are descendants of slavery. Obviously, those people should get reparations. But what about like there's like a bunch of black immigrants, like people that came from Jamaica or black people from Dominican Republic or Haiti? Or it's like, do you give them reparations? No. Like, probably not. But then it's like,
maybe
what if they lived under racist laws? Then it's like, do they get right? It's like it's a far more complicated situation. So like, everybody who's been wronged deserves to be righted. I 100% agree with that. How practical or how to go about it, I think with the indigenous people, it's a simpler transaction, I think. But
didn't they give indigenous people like they have casinos?
They have land, like they have their own land that they can run and things like that.
Seminole tribe?
How did they get into the casino game? Because that's like, isn't that a big thing?
Because
it's their land. They have sovereign rights over their own land. They like there's police forces that are like it's a whole thing. They have like basically their almost like their own like mini government inside of their like their reservation land. They're
really we're in a Christian country like originally, right? And gambling is just not good, which is why gambling isn't allowed in a lot of places. But because in these areas where indigenous land, they have their rights, they could say gambling's allowed here. And so then, boom, you get a casino. It's the only casino in the area. It's going to blow up. So it's like that's sort of how a lot of them ended up in the casino business.
I see.
There's a lot of problems with the way the indigenous land and the support for indigenous people and what America would call reparations, whether that's really like repairing anything, because indigenous people are fucked on a lot of ways educationally. Like a lot of them are alcoholics. Like they're like there's a lot of like domestic violence. There's a lot of problems in the indigenous communities that it seems a lot of it has to do with the fact that like all these countries have destroyed their cultures, like, and it's stuff you see that a lot of this stuff's consistent, like in America, in Canada, right? Even though we have no relations to those people, they have a lot of the same problems because they did a lot of the same things. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a lot better efforts into making their lives better. But
Yeah, absolutely.
museums should give shit back.
Yes.
Also, another one here. Would you want to date someone famous or someone who is not? Well, we all date someone who's not famous, right? But I'm saying, so I guess the better question is, would you date someone that's famous?
Are they rich?
It seems stressful.
Famous
It seems
people
so
are
stressful to date someone famous. You'd like there's got to be like a limit in my mind. Like, yeah, maybe locally famous, you're recognized around town, but I don't want to be in like tabloids or talked about in like.
Yeah, we're not talking about local famous people. We're talking about actual like people around the states know who the hell
Tony's
that
talking
is.
about, do you want to be at your local Walmart and be on the magazine stand every day because you're dating Angelina Jolie? You know?
I don't think I want to. I think I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm straight off that shit.
It sounds kind of miserable. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you just want to have an off day where you're just chilling and shit. Look at his boyfriend, is such a hot mess. You like all these tabloids are picking you up now. You're like, what did I do? I'm just existing here.
Could you imagine Doughboy trying to ride his bike down the streets of New York and all they do is jump in front of him trying to take pictures?
I'd actually like that. Hey,
Oh, word, now he likes it.
hey.
I got one.
I bet it's cool for like a day, and then you get like that picture of you like eating sad on the bench, like it's like was that Val Kilmer or any of the celebrities
no,
they've caught in like candid pictures eating all sad.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves had the sad Keanu thing. Like, you get like that unflattering picture you posted over all the magazines. You're like, you know what? This sucks. I don't want to be famous anymore.
I got one. Somebody, not me, okay, I didn't do this, but somebody put, we should have 2 Thanksgivings a year. Kind of want turkey and stuffing.
Yo, facts. Yo, there should be second Thanksgiving around now. Or in spring or something like that. Second Thanksgiving, vote for Doughy. I'll bring it. I'll make that shit happen. All
Don't-
right?
you could start your own Thanksgiving if you wanted.
Yeah.
You can start your own second Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah. Mid-year thanks.
It'll be the real Thanksgiving, the better Thanksgiving.
Facts. Because you don't have to see any of your family.
We don't have to watch the Cowboys lose.
We don't have to anything to do with the Pilgrims screwing over the Native Americans.
Mhm.
We don't-
It doesn't have any historical connotation. We can celebrate, especially on that day. We can celebrate how Dennis Rodman is with the Asians. Okay, and how did that happen? How did he get in with the Asians like that? Okay,
Okay.
he got Kim Jong-un on the hotline, bro. He could hit him up anytime. What up, Kim?
I would word that as he's with the North Koreans.
All right.
I feel like there's a
I
better
think
way to
China,
word that.
Pretty sure China loves him as well. All right. Pretty sure he's been to China.
Here's another one that I put. Should people date outside of their social status? Meaning,
What
like,
does that even
I don't
mean?
really
meaning like,
think
should
they
I
can.
date a lawyer chick, or should I date a doctor, or should a doctor date a band player?
This is that weird
that
one
weird
where you
one.
were like saying, "Oh, doctors only date doctors and lawyers only date lawyers."
People usually date within their circle range. Like,
I'm like, that's not my experience.
I think a lot of that is just because people tend to date like within their friend networks and their acquaintances and things like that, and similar professions tend to hang out with people at work, and then they become your real life friends, and then that's how your social circle grows and things like that.
I would say,
like, what? Most of your friends are like.
I don't know if it's a conscious thing or not though. Like, but I also don't know a lot of like doctor buddies to ask. I know a lot of my nurse friends tend to date other people in the medical field because they usually have terrible, weird schedules, and other medical people understand they have weird schedules, and they're also on that same weird schedule as them. You know?
yeah.
I mean, especially like to become a doctor is hard. like it's miserable for the
You don't
first
have a life.
several years.
Yeah, it is doing residency, trying to have a relationship where two professionals are trying to get their career going is rough. I've seen some crazy long distance relationships.
Oh.
It's wild. I think wait. I think first of all, you could definitely date outside that's for sure. It depends.
No, David, you've only ever dated doormen or porters or
They're all that's male dominated industry. But I do think you just have to have some sort of game or swagger, or you got to be able to chat them up in the way they want to be chatted. I don't think they're your.
I don't think you're gonna chat up a nuclear scientist though.
I think you can, and I think sometimes they might be easier to bag.
I think the vast majority of people date outside of their occupation. I don't know why that's even like a comparison. No, I don't know any. I can't even think of anybody right now that are like two doctors dating. Like I could or two whatever, two porters. I can't think of anybody. Whether dating outside of your social status, though, that's much harder.
Let's separate this because you're mixing a lot of shit. You're telling me there's like a
woman, but I bet it. I'm talking. You telling me there's a woman making $140K and they're gonna date the cashier at your local Target? Like that's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell. Like I'm sorry, societally, that's just not how. Culturally, that's just not how we're built. Like unfortunately, the way things are in this country. Not even unfortunately, everybody's just gonna date around their level. That's really gonna be
of their money.
I think women care about that more than men, though.
Like personally, you gotta separate
sure.
Middle class.
I date the chick that works at McDonald's.
High
you know
class.
what I mean? Even though I make more than her a year.
You gotta separate it.
I don't think most dudes would. I think most dudes would fuck the chick at McDonald's, but I don't think most dudes like. I think in general, people just date around their level. I think if you looked at somebody that makes way less than you and you're busting your ass trying to pay bills and stuff like that, you're going to resent that person that's just sort of like coasting. You know what I mean?
So then it's better to say upper class will not date anybody from a lower class.
I'm not going to say that they will not. Of course it happens. I'm saying in general, people date at their level. When those things do happen, it's they're outliers. Like there are people that are totally fine being the sole breadwinner while their woman never works a job. Mm-hmm. Like that's fine. But.
I think your looks, how charming you are, have a lot to do with it. Like you how you present yourself.
Well, yeah, it's dating. There's a superficial element to dating.
No, for sure. But I'm saying if you're a really good looking guy, then yes, I think you could date, especially you could be working, you know what I mean? I think you could do that.
I don't even think that's true. There's a bunch of ugly dudes with some hot chicks.
But sure, but
and
there's other reasons. There's other reasons why, right? Doughy's saying that the looks help if you're a lame, if you aren't doing well in life. We've all known people that broke as a joke living off their girlfriend's wallet, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it happens both ways. It's just not that common. I think most people tend to date around their level. That woman's wallet that they're living off, it's usually though around their level anyways. There's another kind of broke person regardless. Like I don't know. I've just never seen like some dude couch surfing just playing video games with his like lawyer wife or something. You know, I've never seen it, but
could happen.
I'm sure it has happened.
Stay home,
like to Butch's point, like I don't know that dude.
Yeah. Here's one that Doe put on. Can being cocky be considered little dick energy or playing it cool? The way to do it.
I think for the most part, if you're being cocky, doing is some little dick energy.
Let's talk about little dick energy, period. What are examples of little dick energy?
Cockiness.
Yeah, Pucho pulls up in a BMW, maybe 3 years old. I'd be like, yo, I got that 2023. Or, pretty example, I got a 77-inch TV. Massive.
I have never used my 77-inch TV to shit on your lesser
that's still
TV.
cockiness.
I would say that like I usually associate Little Dick Energy with like driving like a big old like lifted truck and whatnot.
That's a very good example of little
If you
dick.
got balls on the back of your truck, that's like
That's
a little
fucking
dick energy
hilarious.
trying to portray big dick energy. But
Yeah.
it's a little dick.
the balls
What is little dick energy? I don't know. It's like ultimately we're just saying like insecure dudes. Like dudes that are trying their hardest to be bigger than they really are.
Napoleon
socially.
Dynamite complex type shit.
Not physical cocks. Although some of those insecurities come from their physical cock.
I'm not gonna lie,
facts.
Pooch.
When you see a guy with 250, like what the
Two
50
deep
cal
Desert Eagles,
Magnum?
250
yeah,
caliber.
like 2 Desert Eagles, you might be like, "Are you compensating, sir? What do you, I don't know."
Somebody told me I walked in the bar the other day with a tree trunk. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm talking about.
It made me
I
feel
told
good.
you, bro,
I'm
your
not gonna
pants
lie.
be too tight. Though.
Yeah.
I told you your pants be too tight.
Get
A
too
tree
tight.
trunk, though, that's a compliment.
I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Was that a woman?
No.
You would only wish. Only a dude would
Yeah,
say
I
some
know.
crazy shit
I
like
know.
that.
That's crazy.
Is it a gay dude?
Yeah.
Damn, you should just hook up on him for the sake of it.
No thanks.
Just to use the tree
But
trunk
I'll-
energy.
I'll take the compliment all day. I'll take that compliment and I'll let it. It'll shoot me to the roof. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doughy wrote that compliment down in his journal, and he goes and looks at it sometimes. Like that was a good day.
I was like,
That
that's
was
a
a
good-
good-
I wrote it in my journal.
Yep.
On June 24th, he said I walked in with tree trunk in my legs.
That's insane. Oh, here's another one. Would you guys go to a barbershop or a salon where they only do your private areas, your
Yes.
regions that are not seen by many?
I wish my barber offered these services.
Would you?
Sorry, you wish your barber no longer cut your head, but only serviced your crotch.
Well, this would be a
Well,
second
well,
bar.
There'll be a
This would be
second part.
second
Yeah,
barber,
let's not be
Yeah,
so.
it's like, okay, second
Well,
barber.
this is an absurd
love-
question. Who, as an employee, who does this? They only service the nether realm.
I mean,
who?
European Wax Center does it.
They do
You
it
don't
now.
think they wax your chest or your back?
Oh, yeah,
they
they
must
all-
wax
that's your
I would- I
body,
other
would-
places.
Is
I
that
would
your-
assume.
that's
I would
your
assume
body?
they do other body
I don't
too.
think anybody. I don't think any man has gone in there to get his balls and dick Braziled.
I'm sorry.
They,
I don't think
100% they
we
actually
have.
have.
You
I
think
don't-
so?
For sure.
Have you
I
ever
don't
met
think
gay
my
men?
reaction-
Have you ever met any gay
100%.
men ever?
Not like that.
Have you ever seen a porno?
Not
Look at
looking
those
at it.
dudes that have no hair on their
That's
entire
called
body.
nair. That's called nair. Them boys
No,
trim down
that's-
and
How
rub
do you
nair
know
all
that
on
they're
their
Yeah.
shit.
only doing nair?
I'm just
Where
guessing at
does
this
this
point. I'm guessing
guy
at this
was-
That was a
point.
very confident guess.
Nair.
It's called nair. It's
Or
nair.
nair would be
I'm
the
just
thing to
guessing.
use.
I'm just guessing.
Nair would be the thing they use. It takes off all your hair once you trimmed it down to a
I don't
certain
know if I
level.
want to put hair on
I
your
think-
nair on your dick. It's
I think-
it's chemically
People
removing
put
the
icing
hair.
hot on their dick. What's the point?
No,
What are you gonna
I
stop
think-
with?
Who?
Not you.
I
I said
mean-
people have.
That's an accusation, sir.
Whoa.
I think we're lost in the sauce. The important question here is: are they doing it just in the little chair in front of everyone, the big windows there, and they're trimming the nether region, or do they have like a little booth?
Put a coat around
need
Can
a
you
booth.
imagine the
We
barbershop
need a
talk?
booth.
They're like, Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. You know, it's just like regular barbershop talk.
That would be fucking
Man.
incredible.
I was bagging this chick and I fucked the shit out of it. He just there trimming
Yeah,
your
just-
balls. Like, it's crazy.
Some dudes are like, yeah, just like he's like powdering them up, powdering them up. Yo, because them rips, they'll leave you feeling a little raw, maybe, you know.
God forbid you rip ass while he's down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's
I
he was
got
freezing
one,
a little
ladies
bit
and gentlemen. Why do we have so many technical difficulties?
I have no idea.
What even
like
happened? Did you bump your mic, you think?
I have no idea. I have to look at the video because I was
It
just
didn't- I
sitting
didn't see
there.
it.
Did you
I didn't see him
update
bump the mic or anything.
All I know is I saw you cock your leg up, and I just got excited, and I was
He kicked cables underneath his shit.
I was all over the place, thinking about like just being hoisted up in a barber chair upside down, and then this nigga's just like scraping the
No,
hair off your legs.
You might be in that same chair that the ladies are in when they're getting checked and stuff and they have their legs
Yeah,
clamped
the
up.
the
OBGYN. Yeah.
The OBGYN. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But-
Do you think there's good access to the gooch when you go?
Oh, yeah.
Facts. That shit's
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Oh, dude, 100%. The barber says that's nuts when you put.
Get the bush.
If they don't say that's nuts, you gotta scoot lower. You gotta keep scooting lower.
They use Scotch tape to tape your nuts up so that you can get the whole area.
Nah, that's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
If your hair's thinning down there, they do that little that paint.
the
Beijing. They hit you with the Beijing.
They hit you with the tint.
That's the worst. If you stuck with us through this entire episode, hit that share, like, and subscribe button. Leave a comment. And, hey, let us know if you're willing to go get a barbershop and get your shit trimmed up like that. You never know. You might like it. And as always, go one up yourself. Peace.
Dick all up in your barber's face.
The weird part is you catch an erection. You'd be like, whoa, what the fuck?
All right.
Oh man.
Doughy would be the one to catch an erection.
No, it'd be you, Tony. Nobody thought of an erection till you.
Was God.